couple of days, we've actually gotten a bunch of details for some burning questions probably within the community in relation to Modern Warfare. Game Informer ended up having Taylor Kurosaki as well as Joe Seacott onto their Game Informer podcast a couple of days ago. They gave some answers to some questions that we were probably all wondering about. On top of that, Joel Emsley took to Reddit to talk about the nuke and how it was actually hidden in plain view. And even more recently, there's been a string of leaks that also confirm a lot more information for stuff that maybe you didn't even know you wanted answered. So today we're going to break down a ton of information. It's kind of going to be hopefully not all over the place. I'm structuring it in a way that it kind of is relevant in its own little pockets of discussion, but we're going to be discussing a lot of information for stuff that we previously had no idea about. So that said, hopefully enjoyed, but strap in because we got a lot to talk about. So first things first, before we jump into this kind of stuff, again, we're corroborating things and crossing information that kind of hits the mark a little bit further between not only this Game Informer podcast, some of what Joel has said, and also these leaks. The leaks coming from my friend, The Gaming Revolution, who has been spot on with a ton of stuff from Modern Warfare already. His link will be down there in the description below if you guys want to check him out and follow him for some more up-to-date stuff if you're interested in the leaks. We don't normally cover them all that much here on the channel, but that's the whole basis of where this information is coming. Game Informer, some other things that developers have said in the past, and also then these leaks as of recently. So let's start with maybe what was the catalyst here for this little whirlwind of extra information coming out as the past 24 to 36 hours. This talking about the nuke. Over on Reddit, someone posted, how do nukes work in Modern Warfare? They ended up asking, I think they should follow the Infinite Warfare system, which was a hidden streak that you achieved by getting a 25 gun kill streak. To which Joel Emsley himself from Infinity Ward ended up replying to this, it was in the build that everyone was playing at the MP reveal, but no one figured it out. So this can be taken a number of different ways because firstly, I myself personally never even thought I'd get close to achieving a nuke. I like to think I'm somewhat above average, but 25, 30 gun streak kills, whatever it may be, not exactly my forte, especially on a game that we're playing for relatively our first couple of passes through. So that was something that there were definitely some large streaks thrown out in the mix, especially in the 20v20 game mode. I saw people streaking left, right, and center in that, but nobody achieved what we thought would be, say, a 25 gun streak. But also the wording here from Joel Emsley ends up making it seem like it's not something so simple as just getting that gun streak, whereas it might be something of an Easter egg or something that needs to be tinkered with a little further and air quote figured out, as he puts it. Or is it? Because this is actually where we start to break over into the other leaks that happened shortly thereafter this went up, and it was something that was known around the community. But this comes down now to the Gaming Revolution's leaks, where he was doing a Q&A sort of thing where his sources would be giving information on the questions asked by the community. And apparently the nuke is simply just a 30 gun streak, not a streak combining thing like we've seen previously with Modern Warfare 2. And whereas previously also we had a 25 gun kill streak. So 30 was definitely a little higher than I think anybody got on within the MP reveal build. So maybe that's why. But going a little bit further, it also might not be the only nuke, apparently. There might be a game-ending one, and presumably one that also acts like the Moab, the Chem Strike, the DNA bomb, that doesn't end the game, but instead just ends up taking out the entire enemy team. As someone asked, is the nuke epic? To which the answer from said source was, which nuke, winky face? So that's actually really interesting to me, whether or not we end up seeing a sort of combination of the best of both in the terms of the community feedback for that, because the nuke from Modern Warfare 2 was so legendary because it had so much weight to it. The Moab, the Chem Strike, the DNA bomb, the deatomizer strike, all those things are really cool, but they don't necessarily give you that satisfaction of, I literally ended the game because of what I did. So that'll be interesting to see if that plays out, but it also wasn't the only streak talk that we got here out of these leaks. According to said sources discussing this information, there are still 3 to 4 more streaks coming than what we saw in the MP reveal build, which is something also again corroborated by what we saw with Game Informer's podcast, how there's still a lot of stuff coming. There's still streaks that are going to be showcased in the beta build of the game and also what we'll see at the full launch of it. But that's also to me something that's one, good to see and good to hear, but also brings in a few questions. A lot of what we saw was already the big ticket items like the chopper gunner. What is the equivalent of the Harriers and the VTOL jet? We saw the AC-130 as the gunship. We saw the Pavlo, the advanced UAV, but other things like maybe the nuke being a selectable kill streak, maybe that's a possibility. But other than that, what's still missing? Another big ticket item that was corroborated between both these sources from the leaks and also from the Game Informer podcast was the discussion of Battle Royale. Now, up until this point, we've had rumors, naturally, and it was something that rumors circulated previously about Raven being the ones working on this as a standalone thing, something that would be its own application, something you could launch into, and it would be free to play. Standalone from Modern Warfare, but modern themed, so going in line with the game, but not being directly attached to it. What even further strengthened this was that Infinity Ward went on this Game Informer podcast and said that they have a ton of content coming at launch when discussing the topic of Battle Royale and asked about it, and they said that Battle Royale wouldn't be something that would fit in the box. So therefore, kind of leaving it open for a post-launch possibility, and then also going in line with those rumors that said it wouldn't be happening right up front, but later on, it definitely would be. Now, apparently, this is something that is 100% a thing according to these leaks, according to this source that TGR has. Apparently, they wanted to end up, apparently it was something that was a big focus, but wasn't wanting to be the main focus of Modern Warfare. Apparently, they want it to be something that stands out compared to other Battle Royales and other games on the market, and was also reworked a ton to make it be something that's unique and also memorable, not just your cookie cutter thing that would be Battle Royale. And I don't want to throw Blackout under the bus because I truly really love Blackout, but they didn't want to follow that traditional model of just what Blackout brought to the table. They wanted to take it a step further. So what that means, your guess is really as good as mine, but that's also something that was mentioned here across all the platforms that we mentioned beforehand. Additionally, the minimap is something that's been in contention for the community feedback, because based off of the reveal build, there was no minimap in MP. Despite that pushback from the reveal build, nothing in the alpha and seemingly nothing to start the beta will be making a change here in terms of the minimap being a stable constant that is added in the game, but the source in question ended up saying, oh boy, yes, definitely, when asked about if it was something they're considering. They followed up by continuing to say, we're waiting until after the beta to make that decision. So it's very possible the minimap could make its way into Modern Warfare, but it's also equally fair to say that it might not be. There was one weapon touched on in this Q&A that was mentioned as well, that being the Scar H, is 100% coming. And I actually think that was something that was confirmed earlier. I think that's actually something we had in our behind closed doors press event build of the game in May. Things like the P90 were also there. The FAL has since been confirmed as well by Game Informer's exclusive coverage. So there's a lot of weapons that are going to be coming within the game this year. So definitely the Scar H, you can expect that one, and probably a lot of others coming as well. As for DLC, we got a little bit of information here on this one. They said, firstly, in terms of weaponry, because we know weapons are going to be added post-launch, and I think that was actually even confirmed in that Game Informer podcast. The source said, as of right now, we want all DLC weapons to come for free to everyone. This may change, though. You'll have to ask Activision about that one. Now, that's a big and loaded question that we're going to examine in depth later this week. I have a full microtransaction video going up, I think tentatively scheduled for Thursday, pending no changes here in the schedule, but I've been working on a full-fledged breakdown and examination of what we'll see here with this and what we may also see that we don't know of just yet. But right now it seems like Infinity Ward do want to please the community, so bear that in mind. It might be something that's subject to change, but right now it seems the intentions are good. But as for camos, that's also something we got some information on between these leaks and also Game Informer. That's my big thing. If you guys have been around the channel long enough, you know that I absolutely love camos, because in a first-person perspective, that's kind of the only thing you can really see 100% of the time. So to me, I'm all for camos, but apparently they're going to be realistic, and that lines up with what we've heard so far. That sure, the yes could be a purple camo or something like that, but it's a purple camo that would be rooted on real-life variations that they've seen in military use. Maybe a little bit more customized than the standard issue camo styles, but it won't be like airplanes or unicorns on weapons. This also lines up with what they said in the Game Informer podcast, and is also something, again, we'll examine a little further down the line in that MTX video. But one cool thing is that they ended up saying they want camos to be all grind-worthy, all something you can unlock organically via in-game challenges. If you have a really badass camo, you'll be able to show it off in-game, and people will be able to know, man, he did that thing to get that camo. Something that would showcase some actual accolades behind it. As for maps in the DLC, this also is confirmed that there are no more packs anymore, that it's just going to be a constant stream of content. As for things like the Prestige mode, we got a little bit of information here on this, both in the Game Informer podcast and also, again, from these leaks. There's no information just yet on how many Prestiges there will be, but it was also mentioned that there will be levels 1 to 55 per Prestige, apparently. Also from Game Informer's podcast, though, we saw that there's a mention that the system will be working differently than ever before. Apparently, the max level for Modern Warfare's MP is going to have a twist that will change post-launch. And that is truly perplexing to me because it could be something that may be a new system in place or just a subtle variation of something we've seen beforehand. My ambitious guess, and throwing my hat in the ring here, is that maybe it's something that takes up almost like the Ghost system, where you have to level up each character and operator that we see for each prestige, and then what's the part that changes over time is that they'll add in more operators post-launch, which will act as an air quote next prestige that you can add in after the game is continuing to go on. So maybe that's something that we have level 1 through 55 for each operator, and however many operators there are, that's the amount of prestiges that we have, but we'll have to wait and see. Additionally, weapon prestige was also confirmed as being something that's going to be coming back. That's kind of a no-brainer and something natural, but is officially confirmed by these, and it's going to be a thing. But weapon levels are also going to be returning as well, naturally with a weapon prestige, but it's also going to be what the gunsmith attachments and their unlocks are dependent on as well. You're going to unlock attachments via weapon level. The final thing to mention, and real quickly in passing, is that Clan Wars is apparently set to return as well for the first time in a couple of years, so that'll be interesting to see how that brings the community back together and has some maybe challenges you have to do as a team and as a clan to end up getting some exclusive things, whether that be XP, exclusive camos, whatever it is. It'll be cool to see how that works out. But all that said, that is a ton of stuff here that we got out of the last 36 to 48 hours in terms of Modern Warfare information. So let me know your thoughts. That is a lot to digest, but I want to throw it all by you guys and let you know so that you're in the loop with everything. But that said, if you enjoy the video, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare and all things Call of Duty. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best place to get connected outside of YouTube. Probably live on both those. If you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. That said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.